Hello everyone and welcome to more for the Spring Muad'Dib Melee being hosted by Cheesable. I am the Black Shadow and we're going to be doing some actual legitimate casting today. Can you believe it, kids? It feels like it's been an awful long time, and this is going to be my first actual solo casting of doing Dune Imperium Uprising with Bloodlines. I've done a couple with some other folks, but first time going it alone. So hoping this is going to be fairly solid here. I've now got some Bloodlines under my belt, which should help a little bit here. But sometimes there's so much happening in these games, it can be easy to miss bits and pieces. So if so, I do apologize. So a quick reminder for the format for the Melee here. We have about 70 competitors that are split between 4 different groups, A, B, C, and D. These are based on time zone and were chosen by players to enter in. After everyone has played 4 matches, the top 4 winners of those groups will play against each other in the group finals, and the winner of that match will then go into a grand final matchup. We're going to be looking at Group B today. Specifically, this is Group B, or Week 2 Game D. Not complicated, I'm sure. And Group B is the largest of the groups. 24 separate players in this one, mainly featuring a lot of European players, notable names. You know, you've got Frank, Sneaker Dad, Dot in this one as well. But is definitely the biggest of the groups, which means that it's going to be the highest tariff to make it into a group finals. And this one will be featuring some familiar faces to the Dune community of these casted games. The Heretic, StopLicking, also known as Howard Donald, and Barsandcat, who have all featured in previous competitions on this channel before. And a new player to the group here, Declone, I think it's Declone, also come along as well. As I said, this is going to be... I'm going to do my best here, try and make this as smooth as possible and try and keep up in tracks and give you some ideas of what players may be looking to do. But this will be a bit of a learning process for myself as well. But all in all, looking forward to this. It's nice to be just casting games as well, because I don't get the chance to do this a whole lot at the moment here. Alright everyone, so here we are getting ready to rock and roll. This is going to be an interesting journey. Draft's been done. We've got Howard in the blue spot picking first. Bars getting red for the first seat. So look at the rows and texts and bits and pieces, shall we? Row is pretty awesome. Still Guard Voted is going to be a huge pull. One of the most popular cards in Uprising. Incredibly powerful. Guild Envoy for some faction axes as well that you do have to discard to use it. And lots of Burn Jesuit stuff here. Urgent Sigawire, one of the new cards in Uprising, are very strong. Playing that means that your next Burn Jesuit card has all agent icons and draws a card. Really strong. Tread and Darkness and Southern Elders both benefiting from that. So lots of cool synergy there. Up here, our techs are also pretty strong here. Advanced data analysis. You have to trash a spy from the board entirely. So you've got to have one out and then trash it from the game. You get an intrigue every round. It's pretty cool. Forbidden Weapons is a really tricky one. Can use this to break the wall. But you must choose either free swords and to take a down bump with a faction or lose all your spies to trash it. And then Panopticon, which has proven to be one of those popular techs of the game. Kind of a revamped spy satellite from Rise of Ix here. You get a spy on a troop every reveal turn, which is huge, and you gain 1 influence for each faction. You have 1 or less. You still got to take a bump, and that's pretty easy. And then your Sardaukar command abilities there, mainly sword related. So we've got our leaders here. We've got quite a fair variety here. Some strong ones. We've got Mahaim here, one of the new ones, who I quite rate. Muad'Dib's out there, who will probably be very popular, but still going around there. Other than that, I'm not entirely sure we're going to see. Probably might see Esmar Tuek here as well. We'll give an additional board space and extra spice to the table as well. Bit of variety. Python maybe even might see one Blue Moon. We'll see how we go. So we do see Staban taken in full position. Staban is still fairly decent, I think, but a little tricky. I don't know how much Bloodlines has helped or hindered him. I think it's a bit kind of touch and go. Full position is tricky, though. He might well be forced to make an early reveal, depending on his hand for Guild Envoy and maybe Sugarwire as well. I could definitely see that. The Sugarwire seems a really big card for him, being able to kind of like with some prepare the ways to get some action going there. Muad'Dib taken third by the Heretic. Again, not a huge surprise to see Muad'Dib taken. Still one of the best leaders in the game, even with Bloodlines. So that is not a shock at all. But I imagine we'll start seeing some of the new leaders here. Second position's tricky. I think Esmar is going to get picked. I just have a feeling he's going to pick. And I do think Mahaim is probably the strongest out there, but Fade Ralpha's an option as well. New Charney as well. I have seen some people use kind of okay, but still a little bit tricky with the retreating mechanic here. Fade Ralpha it is. Are we just going to get 4 normal leaders? Eyeing up Mahaim. It does go for Mahaim indeed. All right then, so get ourselves over here. We got Terry Fabulous, who's also spectating the lobby. I believe he's casting this from his own side. And let's look at the opening bits and pieces. So opening skirmish is the Chris Knife influence bump, which used to be the most popular one in the game. Well, there's probably one that's better than that now, the one that gives the opening trash. Mahaim draws interesting. Faction, but not much else. Double faction for Fade. Muad'Dib gets faction and ring, and just the ring for Staban does not play a Seek Allies card yet. That is in his deck here. Doesn't have a ton of persuasion though, does Staban. A little bit awkward. If he had like a way of using something and having 5, could definitely see an early reveal, but he might early reveal for Guild Envoy anyways. Mahaim goes for Fremkir early. Makes sense trying to find a ring or faction card. Doesn't find either. Chris Knife belonged to Muad'Dib and Staban. Not the easiest for either of those two to actually win this. Muad'Dib definitely can. Depends where Fade Ralpha goes. Does Fade Ralpha go for an early Desert Tactics? He has both faction cards now, which is a little awkward. Definitely a dagger that he can just get out of the way and trash early if he wants. I think he will probably go Desert Tactics here. I think like that's the move I would make. And he does indeed. I suspect the dagger will go and he'll... It's kind of awkward to put it all in when the 2 people behind you are both with the daggers. That is a little awkward. But I can see him putting in all 3. Wouldn't surprise me. Just limps. That's a bit of an odd move. Maybe thinking that Staban's going to stay out of this. Double draw from Muad'Dib, looking to build up his persuasion for Stilgar. And he's got 7 persuasion there. Finds his Seek Allies card as well. He doesn't have to use it. Staban with Ring. I imagine we'll just take some spice at the Haga Basin. Yet no surprise there. Does spice up the Imperial Basin. You do see this sometimes with the Staban Spy, the idea being to try and get some spice going. Maybe thinking Mahaim is going to be hitting spice lots more because of her ring, which is not untrue. There are some games where I have played as Staban, where I have put the Spy on Imperial Basin because of Reverend Mother Mahaim, Jessica, Lady Jessica, because she needs spice a lot as well. So I don't entirely hate it, but it's usually not blocking any other spies. It's not blocking up the spy that's almost certainly Mahaim's going to put on the Swordmaster, stuff like that. So I get it, but you know, not maybe the most ideal. Anyways, Mahaim goes up to Assembly Hall, finds leverage, which is actually not terrible here. There's some cheap high council access. The money early will be good, and she will be getting some spice almost certainly in the next round. Fade will use his other faction access, probably just go for some war deliver supplies, and does. Muad'Dib does not have to use Seek Allies. He could use Diplomacy and save his Seek Allies for a redraw. That 7 persuasion isn't really doing anything. But he'd have to go probably secrets. Nope, he just reveals. Just reveals and calls it a day. He was that worried about someone taking Stilgar? Maybe he was worried about Mahaim with the Assembly Hall. Ismail also reveals early. He's going to win the fight as well, which is pretty insane. So he gets Guild Envoy. Ixion Ambassador goes to Mahaim here for some extra spice generation. The reveal is also very strong. It's those tech tiles. A couple of cheap ones out there. And then Fade around for revealing for free. Taking space-time folding. And Swerving's out there. Subversive. No one taking Sugarwire yet. Fade Ralpha. How can you not take Sugarwire here? It looks such a good card for you. It blows my mind. Maybe I just overrate Sugarwire. It's possible. I think Sugarwire is an awesome card. So, Staban wins it. Curious to see where he's going to take his bump here. Does he take it with the Fremen? Maybe he takes it to the Spacing Guild to go shipping, and that's exactly what he does. Immediately takes it to the Shipping Guild. So he is off to try and pick up some spice and go shipping. Potential report for Mahaim is actually a really good card for her. That's a great intrigue. Second conflict is Spice Freighters, so more Crisp Knives, more bumps. Free Spice for a point is also there. Unlikely to see that get particularly taken advantage of. Wardeep does not find Stilgar or any of his faction cards. I still think he should have played at his Diplomacy or Seek Allies. I don't think he was under that much threat of Stilgar being taken. I mean, better safe than sorry. I don't hate it. It's always easy when you're here, but it's going to feel bad to have made that error reveal and then no one was close to taking Stilgar. So a bit of a misread there. Fade's got his ring. A reminder of Fade Ralpha. He has this track here. Every time he uses his ring, he goes right one spot. But you can take the branches wherever you want. So I don't know if he'll pay for the trash or he can just take the spy. I imagine he'll take the spy. He has no money. Just spy up live espionage or something. It's usually a fairly popular move, especially in a fight with Mahaim. Espionage has got a lot of value. Fade Ralpha does take the spice. That does give Staban his third spice. So he could start shipping immediately. He picks up Guild Envoy right away, which is a little bit unlucky to draw that with Seek Allies here, so he might wait for the shipping. Might take the spy on Swordmaster instead. Behind him, can just put spies on council for free, or pay a spice to put a spice anywhere. I do think getting the spy on Espionage is incredibly important for Mahaim, for reasons that I've discussed in previous videos, i.e. just options. Muad'Dib will double draw again, looking for stuff. Pulls Seek Allies and his Diplo, so getting a little bit awkward this. He will go in, of course. Wants to win this fight. What's the bar want to do? Just Framkits it for now. Figures that maybe Mahaim's not getting involved. Can pick up the third place in the combat fairly cheap. Surely he's going to be eyeing up deliver supplies here. Doesn't even get involved anyways. Mahaim espionages. Yep. Gets the spy off. That is a huge result from Mahaim that's not been blocked by someone here in quite a heavy spy game. So protect that with a lot of strength. Just note as well, Mahaim, by the way. So the idea is Mahaim is every card in her deck has a spy icon. So you can send any card to any spy, which is why Espionage is so strong. You can send like daggers to Espionage. However, if you could recall the spy to gather intelligence, you must. So whenever you send any card to any spot with Mahaim, you have to pull the spy, whether it's an infiltration or to draw. You cannot leave spies in place. They are always recalled for one reason or another. So you do have to be a little bit careful of that. So it's incredibly strong, but Mahaim needs ways to generate spies. And currently those don't exist. Because you can't just like spam Espionage and leave the spy there and put her spies elsewhere. It will automatically recall it. Fade with not a whole lot going on. Might just go Assembly Hall here. And does. Hello. Hello. That's a pull. That's a nice pull. He's going to be ambushing Siege probably next round if he can. Muad'Dib will now go deliver supplies instead. Staban will not be able to get there, so he goes gather support. And he goes for Dayton. Wow, okay then. So Staban's just going to go for the text immediately here. He's going to trash a spy from the board. So his Viral Space and Spy is gone. He's going to just take an intrigue every round here. And what does he find first is by access. What? My goodness. That is a monster card for Staban Tuek. It's almost worth it immediately. That's an insane pull for him. I am just grabbing the spice. So that will give... she can play leverage here. Which she does. So she gets the High Council shot, you imagine. Gets a coin. The Alliance contract comes out. So she can now pay a spice to put a spy on the board if she wants. I imagine that's what she'll do. She'll put it probably to the Fremen. I would imagine. That's where I would put it, yep. And so now she can use intelligence reports if she wants to pull 2 cards if anything big comes out. Doesn't have to right now. Can definitely limp in. I'd probably put in both troops. I think that extra water is important as Mahayim. But obviously, he can see the whole Fade Ralpha's deck, so can see what he's got. He does have an intrigue. Go be a little bit cautious of that. Just chucks it in anyways, yep. So, Fade Ralpha with 5 will take Subversive, you'd imagine, and does. Basically a power play, but it's a one-time use. Does get the Spy. Make a Keeper comes off, by the way. One of the best cards for Mahayim this. Absolutely goated card for her. What you want to do basically with Mahayim is just get stacked agent boxes and then let your spies do the work. Muddy before will take the combat down. Picks up Southern Elders. Oh no! And Public Spectacle goes to Saban to it when he's got by access. Can you believe it? That's disgusting. And Mahayim's going to get hold of Bene Gesserit Operative. And she has Spy Generation. And she should absolutely make a Keeper at the same time. Wow, that's absolutely stacked for her. Dream spot for her, dream spot for Staban. Both looking really strong here. Unbelievable how the deck's just drawn out from. That is monstrous. They've both become favourites. Modi will take the win. He'll take a Fremen bump. No one with access to Siege yet. So Fade Ralpha's about to jump the queue. Huge result. Okay, third round. Storms in the south. This is one of the new Bloodline conflicts here. Wild Symbol for endgame matching. Infiltrating Spy and 2 spies is pretty good. Muad'Dib immediately barrels Fremkit with Stilgar and will get it in, I imagine, immediately. Staban pulls Spectacle right away, which is a little potentially awkward. He does have his ring. Obviously, he's out of spice because he paid for the data analysis, so we did not bother going shipping. So there is no money in this game at the moment. No one has anything. And I'm curious to see what the plan's going to be. Could be a long way away from Swordmasters or High Councils. Don't know what Staban's doing. He's just going to go Spice Fire and just trying to pick up some cash here. He's going to get involved. There's money in the fight as well. Where's this Spy going? Just puts it on the Spacing Guild. And he does pay the 2 slide for another intrigue here. So he's going to look to basically play Baron Harkonnen. Special mission, not that useful for him right now. Find Spice's power, which also could be of good use for him. But not right now. But yeah, he's basically just going to play the intrigue game and just try and leverage over his opponents. Mahayim's got hold of Vixen Engineer. I try not to hold over hands too much here. Vixen Engineer is obviously a pretty good card. It's just making good use of it in the Council. By the way, next tech that came off was Plasteel Blades, which is 4 Solari, which is huge probably in this moment. And when you can trash this when you recruit a commander to get a second skill. Mahayim might just send that straight to Assembly Hall and just take it for the money. Especially with Spice Refinery blocked off. And I expect or maybe goes troops, I don't know. I'm unsure which is better here. I think she'll prefer Assembly Hall. Because there are some good cards here. Oh, by the way, Chome Demands out there as well. Absolutely insane card. Absolutely insane card. And Press is found. Does pay for Plasteel. And he's going to pay for the commander as well. So gets hold of 2... she can trash it now. And she gets hold of 2 different abilities. They have to be different, by the way. You cannot duplicate. Peels off Charismatic. Oh my god. Easy as you like. It's pretty wild. We have Training Depot next, which is... It's a thing. It's a one tech. It's a one cost tech. Like it's not going to be a game winner. Fade Ralpha is a little awkward. He does have a way of ambushing the siege, but he's going to have to with his prepare the way, which is not really what he wants to do. But the argument is, seeing as it stops Muad'Dib and cuts him up, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to turn that down, and it does give you Worm XX next round. I think he's still got to do it. It's not great. You'd rather have used his ring or his recon. But I think you've got to cut it off. Muad'Dib as well is threatening going Deep Desert as well. I don't think you can allow that. I think you have to get in the way here. I think it's too important. If Muad'Dib was allowed to go Siege and then just hit Deep Desert next round and chuck in worms, the snowball begins. I think it would be a mistake to turn this down. I know you've got your faction cards, and I get that. I know you want to reveal Prepare the Way, it's not giving you a draw. But I think you have to do this. And does decide to do so. I think this is the correct call. Not ideal, but it's what it is. Muad'Dib is hindered heavily here by this act. But I think this is the right call. Get those hooks. Get in the way. Slow him down. Don't let him escalate. Interesting to see what Muad'Dib's going to do here, actually, with that move having happened. He's got 5 persuasion. Bit tricky as well. What do you do here, deployment-wise? Like, Mahim is almost certainly getting involved here, you'd imagine. Mahim, you'll notice, is looking at a discard, indicating a Desert Tactics move is incoming. Muad'Dib just out of Keens. Oh, he pulls his Southern Elders, which only gives him the water, which is insane. No persuasion, but the water is just as good, you'd think. So we can still get a Deep Desert. The barn has Spectacle. And imagine he'd just go deliver supplies. Remember, he's only got 2 spies left in the game, because he trashed one. Does have to recall the spy to get the additional bump. Problem is he's got no way of really getting to espionage, so he's reliant on his ring to get the spies down. Spectacle occasionally might just have to reveal to put the spy down in the first place. Bumps Fremen? Yep, makes sense. Is Mahim going Desert Tactics? She was eyeing it up. Feels like a good move. You can trash from your discard. Could trash the dagger in hand. If you want. You've got Impress. There are worlds you win this fight if you hold on to the dagger. But I think she'll... I don't know. I think she... If the dagger's in the discard, you get rid of that for sure. But I don't know if she did or not. Oh, there is one in there. Cool. So this could be trouble for Muad'Dib here. He might not win this. I don't know if you play Impress to tie. Or she's just going to try and settle for second place. She might have to put it all in anyways for second. And she's going to be put in an interesting spot. Whether she looks to play Impress here. And she can force a tie on Muad'Dib. I don't know if she'll do that. Impress gives her the ability to pick up a free persuasion cost card. I mean, that includes Prepare the Ways, which is just good for her. See what happens. Fade's still got an action to go. Not sure what he's going to do with this. Secrets is fine. Dutiful Service, I think, is okay. Espionage, I don't know if he wants to draw. He might not. Drawing's a little bit awkward here. There's a couple of cards he does not want to see. But it does get spies down. So it'd be a little bit of a gamble. I think I like secrets more, but spies are spies. Pulls his recon. He can live with that. And he will get the spy down on the basin, which makes sense for worm generation. So Muad'Dib reveals for 6. Oh, he does get the From and Bond. Sorry, we got Stilgar in the game. I completely missed that. Well, in that case, that's an absolutely outrageous draw. And he picks up Chome Demands, which is nuts. Probably one of the best cards in the game now. Absolutely wild. The one taking Prepare the Way along with Shigawire. I don't know how it's been left there so long. Behind with 4. Courtesy of Assembly Hall and Charismatic with the Commander. The Commander will be spent here, but we'll be able to spend 2 Solari to re-recruit it at some point. Just takes, yeah, don't hate that. And then Fade also with 4. Truth Trancers out there. 2 Truth Trancers are out there. Got a Soundwalk as well, which is actually not the worst card in the world, by the way. I actually think on a Fremen deck, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Goes for one of the Truth Trancers. So, does Mahayim tie this fight? I don't know. Oh, Intelligence Training's out there, by the way. She might do it for that specifically. Yeah, that's a bit unlucky for Muad'Dib. I'm not sure she was going to do so. Oh, she goes for Rebel Supplier instead. Well, okay then, fair enough. I think it was a decent free coster, she plays it. So Muad'Dib is tied. That is not good for him. There's going to be intrigues all over the joint. So, Muad'Dib gets Shaddam's Favor and Desert Support. Mahayim picks up Battlefield Research and Grasp Arrakis. And Staban gets Fine Weakness here, so there are intrigues all over the joint. And people need to get using them very quickly here. So, Special Mission is just going to put the spy down now, just to protect his hand, of course. And he's going to use Public Spectacle to hit Siege immediately as well. No real surprise. So, Muad'Dib in some trouble here. Muad'Dib might just have to go Deep Desert and just take the spice at this rate. He's not going to be able to worm it. Shadow Contest is the next fight. Ornithopter symbol is not pairing anyone, but there is a tech that can turn any of your comet symbols into Thopters. Gets them in. Mahayim draws an insane hand. Is going to go High Council, I think, here. And does go High Council for the rebate. Picks up the spice as well. She now can buy techs at a discount, -1 here, and goes for Train Depot because it's free. Might as well. Navigation Chamber is next up here. Pretty strong. Gets a random bump. And spaces cost a spice or Solari less. Pretty neat. Makes Espionage free, by the way. Takes another commander here. So canny now. So, good to get aggressive here. Does have 2 spies down, so Bene Gesserit Operative is currently worth 3. She can play Recon and have 6 Persuasion here. Have 7? Possibly 8. I don't know, it's a lot of Persuasion. 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, if she plays Rebel Supplier, she's got 9 Persuasion. Spice's Flow is incoming. Fade Alpha worms it, as you'd expect. She might just play Rebel Supplier just to get the Spice's Flow here. It's very tempting. There's no big costers on the row. They're all pretty cheap here, so it seems a good spot to actually do that. We'll see what Mahayim's got to do. She can also play Intelligence Report now to get a better card, and that might be what she does. Fade Alpha gets the trash. Subversive Advisor is in his hand. So you'd expect him to be going... Is he ever going Sardaukar here? He might go Sardaukar. I could see that. But the problem is he'd have to recall the spy, which means he is drawing, which is a little awkward. Muad'Dib goes Dutiful first. He wants his commander, so commander's starting to rattle off the board. He'll take the Spice Reveal, I imagine, and does another Charismatic up there. He'll take the Alliance one, which I think's fine. It's a decent contract. Obviously, he can just complete any contract he wants, which is wild. Staban goes for the Alliance. And that gives him buy access, which he's just going to pay immediately, just so he can recycle Intrigues. But I would have probably seen what the Intrigue was going to be first. Like, it's really strong, but he is bankrupting himself. I would have seen what this was. Maybe it's something you might want to play. Finds counts as ambition, which is never getting used here, so he might get aggressive. He might go for this fight. He might spend Find Weakness for swords. See what happens. I honestly think behind playing Intelligence Report here is fine. It protects Spice's flow. You get the Spice Reveal. Could go Arakeen as well. But there is a risk that you don't draw Spice's flow and you have to use Intelligence Report anyway. So I think for me, I'm using Intelligence Report. I'm drawing cards to try and get a better agent action here. Could also send Rebel Supply to Fremen to, like, put troops in. So 2 cards is spent, so now can spend whatever she wants. But yeah, it should be noted Rebel Supply. She can send that to Fremen and get troops in that way. But now she can probably make a Keeper, and she can send that to Bene Gesserit to get maximum benefit. But she's going to spend a supply anyways. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to do this, then I wouldn't have used the cards. Oh, she's going to spend the spy, though, so she needs this because Bene Gesserit Operative is not going to be valued at 3. It's going to be worth 1 now. As you can see here. Yeah, that makes sense. This is all going in, by the way. Grass Arrakis might well get played. She's going for this fight. And she's going to have the command swords as well here. Fade Ralpha's in trouble. Fade Ralph is in big trouble here. Say second place is okay, but he really wanted the bumps. And he can't think that just going Imperial Base and limping a troop in is going to be enough here. He probably has to do whatever he's going to do, Sardaukar maybe, and gamble. Hope he pulls an intrigue that saves him. But he is in trouble. This is the problem behind. Once behind gets those spies down. Just going to go dutiful so he doesn't have to draw. He'll take the High Council bump. It's basically a concession. So Iron will win the fight. So Muad'Dib will play his Chom demands. Being able to complete any contract is just nuts. That's so strong. Does he just take Deep Desert Spicy? I think he has to. He doesn't have to do it now if he doesn't want to, but I think he probably should. Just for tempo reasons. No, he's going to wait. He's going to wait here. So that gives him that. He can then complete his alliance contract using Chone demands. Is this going in? Oh, he's doing this because is he going to use desert support? He's using desert support. He's going in. Oh my goodness me. He's actually going to chuck this in. I didn't think he was going to go this aggressive. And Staban 2X wondering what the heck's going on here. And Staban 2X goes first. He might get drawn into Find Weakness here. He doesn't have enough troops to withdraw. Doesn't buy. Behind with Spice Must Flow. Has 3 more. Intelligence Train looks so strong here. Get those spies down. Kosh is also a good card, but can't afford it. Intelligence Train, I think one of those in Mahaim's deck, especially with command ability, is so strong. Get those spies. Get them down. Cause problems. I think I would have preferred that on the Fremen for more Rebel Supply nonsense, but I guess this is also okay. Fade Ralph with 3. Takes Reliable Informant, more Spacing Guild cards for him to play around with. And Muad'Dib also with 3. Stabanto might well use Fine Weakness just to try and get in front here. He knows he can beat Fader Alpha. Fader Alpha's going to get nothing from this. He's going to go Worm, Double Troop, and get zilch. That is a disaster. Someone has to use Fine Weakness here, right? He's got no choice, yeah. Has to use it. Disaster for Fader Alpha this round. Is Muad'Dib spending desert support here? It looks like it. Yeah, in it comes. 5 swords for the water. Mahaim cannot win, but she can tie. She can also retreat a troop for a cheap tech. But the only thing she'd be able to buy is forbidden weapons. She's a spice short of the other 2, so she might... I don't know what she's going to do. Oh, she is going to retreat. She's saving the commander. But then she loses her canny swords. And she's giving up the fight entirely. But she can't buy navigation or panopticon. She doesn't have enough spice. It'd have to be forbidden weapons. I can't see her wanting to buy that. She cannot afford it. She needs 4 spice, not 5. Hold on. Hasn't that cost 4 spice? She has to pay 4 spice for that, not 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. Oh, High Council still plays, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, fair enough. Forgot, yeah, High Council still plays. That's wild. I didn't even see that. Well, in that case, then, 100%. Panopticon for cheap is nuts. I didn't even see that. So I got High Command off, by the way. And she happily sacks it off, so Fader Alpha is going to get hold of the 2 spice and troops. He's going to get a little lucky here. Muad'Dib wins it. Yeah, if I just realize High Council still applies, then yeah, I get that. That's fine. Totally missed that. Bloodlines is tricky. Bloodlines is tough. So, Muad'Dib wins it. Tessa Loyalty is next. Ton of spice at the basin. Mahaim has to get hold of. Still, no one is... It's round 5 and no one is even remotely close to picking Swordmaster at the moment. Does Fader Alpha just keep getting in with worms? There's not much else for him to do here. It's the money fight. Surely you just whack in worms here. You are concerned about Staban coming in, though, with Deep Desert, but Muad'Dib should cut that off. Staban finds contingency plan. And he has his ring as well. Staban to it could actually, if he gets the spice refinery and puts his spy at the... Oh, no, he can't. He's only got 1 spice. He doesn't have enough. No, he can't jump. He can only get 7 Solari max. He can't get all 8 for the Swordmaster now. So Phaedra's going to keep getting worms in. Makes sense. Spy? Spy. Yeah, makes sense. Put the spy down. So Muad'Dib... Yeah, just Dune Desert's the spice. It's 8 spice, which is still huge. He found Devour, by the way, in the last fight as well, which is pretty strong for him. But again, does not have the worms and does not have siege access. Didn't draw it. So Muad'Dib with a mix of these really strong moves and these really weak ones. He's kind of like very in between. Goes to the Arakeen Spy, huh? Interesting. So what does Staban want to do here? Did he just go espionage? Shigawa is not really doing a whole lot. It's just a fact. It's just access at this point, though. He's not really ever going to be able to find... I don't think his last card's Bene Gesserit, but I don't know. I think he has a repair in his deck somewhere. I'm not sure his next card is Bene Gesserit. I think we're about to find out. Just goes Refinery. Mahim takes the Alliance. It's a slow-scoring game, this. Kinda. But again, the fact that everyone's got money and everyone's just spent it doing other things. No one has spent any time, really. Like, action economy, not important in this one. Behind with 6 will get the her stuff in. I don't know what Baloo's talking about. Chatting away. Something about don't let Muad'Dib go to Siege. You can't go there anyways. Muad'Dib's so much spice, but he doesn't know what to do with it. He hasn't got shipping access. Does he buy techs? Is there a world he goes up and buys, like, well, the techs there? Does he take Sardaukar High Command? Does he take Navigation? Fade Rafa's about to blow the wall. He is talking himself into Siege. Thinks he can't let Muad'Dib get there, but he has no access regardless. He's going to blow the wall here. He thinks he's got an advantage, but the problem is that you're only giving this to Staban, right? Staban's got the next 2 actions. Round 6 and round 7. I don't think you can blow the wall here. I don't know how responsible that is. I mean, that's a big gamble. I think you're just playing into Staban's hands by doing that. I think you just gotta... Yeah, I think this is the correct choice. I think I like this better. It's difficult because Fade Ralph has no intrigues. That's what's complicating this. He doesn't really have any backup options. So he's having to play very kind of... It doesn't feel great. He feels he can live with first or second spot, which is why he's not committing in here. His spy's already out as well, so I get that. He's espionage. Poses recon. That's not what he wanted. Ah, dear. Just going to go Refinery. Just to guarantee access to try and get Swordmaster. Or was he going to go for the Siege to get his hook access? Makes sense. Staban's going High Council here. I don't know where this spy's going. He can go anywhere he wants. Let's see what intrigue he pulls today. There's absolutely no way he just did that. There's basically, with that and the previous, with buy access, it's basically 7 Slayer for a point. They're basically on Cho'um shares. That's absolutely cooked. Surely you put a spy on a faction now. Goes Deep Desert. Is he reserving his worm access? I guess. And Mahim can win this fight if she wants. She'd have to spend Grasp Arrakis. It's a little tricky, though. The endgame flipping 2 face-up conflict cards for a point is nice. This does not pair her. So, it's a bit awkward, this. Takes Cross Rebellion. Looks good. I don't know if she's going to pay that or not. I am unsure. 4 for Fade. Second Truth Trance is available. Sardaukar Commander out there as well. Disruption Tactics is one new cards. Pretty fun. The Spoils, one of the promo cards. Putting the Way looks really strong. And Staban's going to get hold of that, you'd think. Spontuak is looking favourite in this game right now. RD before. Branching Path picks off, by the way. Might talk himself into that. He needs contracts. He goes for it. Elite Forces now peels off. One of my... I quite like this card, actually. I think it's really good. A really fun Sidecar card, that Elite Forces. Yep. No surprises there. Does Mahayam play for this or not? I haven't a clue if she's going to do it. She can win it if she wants, but I think she's going to pass and she does. Winning's not strong enough for her, but bumps are bumps. She doesn't have a huge faction game right now outside the Fremen. It is a bit of a give-up. Vader Alpha can move 2 spies if he wants. I think he should move the Arakeen spy. But where you move it to? He's just not going to bother. Round 6. It's the basin. It's walled. It was not taken out earlier. Mouse match is important for both Fade and Mahayam. And Fade does have Spice Refinery access. We might finally see Swordmaster. Fader Alpha might go Refinery, Swordmaster, Highliner. As a very legitimate route he might take here. It's a combat he does need to pair. And he does need the bump with the Spacing Guild anyways. He's got the spy there as well. He'd be guaranteed to get his Swordmaster. Which means he'd have action economy at least some people. Wadi pulls an insane hand, by the way. Too good for 2 actions. I think that's what Fader Alpha should do, is just Refinery, Swordmaster, and then consider Highline as an option. Don't have to do it. But I don't see how you don't at least give yourself that option here. Fine space-time folding, so you can actually use that to get rid of Reliable if he wants to draw more cards. I don't see much point limping that in. I feel like you should be a little bit more certain on what you're doing with that, truth be told, but whatever. It's not a big deal. What does Muad'Dib do? He needs more contracts, so he can just send Chome Demands to accept contract and just complete something immediately. Which is what he's going to do here. Basically turn this into a triple draw. It's absolutely nuts, this card. It's absolutely bonkers how strong this is. How this is a 6 coster, I don't know. I feel like it should be a 7. Esteban does not have the draw from Prepare the Way. Just the 2, but he wants Research Station. He wants to get involved here. I think the intention is he's trying to go for Spice's Flow, and he's going to look to get these troops in and then retreat them for Spice's Power. I think that's what's going on here. He does have Council Ambition he can use whenever he wants. So he does have plenty of water. He's also looking for the command ability with Pointing the Way, which he does have. Manipulates his next card here for his intrigues, which looks pretty good. Maybe use that on in high places. That looks really strong. Yep, that's exactly what we see. This will all go in. I imagine this will all go in, and he'll probably retreat it. No, he's going to hold on. He's going to... But the problem is he might be thinking of using it for the spice, but I don't know how he's ever going to use it for the spice. Mahayam goes gathering stuff. Remember, she has discounts on text. Navigation's out there. She'll use that to get Sardaukar High Command. So that's a point. Sardaukar Commander's now cost 1. So she's just rocking with these. She has to grab a different type of ability. So it's got to be Fierce or it's got to be Desperate. You cannot duplicate. The point looks pretty good. Don't know how she's getting these troops in, though. Rebel supplier to Spice Refinery, it might well be. Looks like that's going to be the plan. So, Fade Swordmasters. He's trying to work out if he pulls the spy or not. If he's going to play, what he's going to do here. He's trying to work out, does he pull the spy and then use space-time folding? Is that a route for him? Does he just go for secrets instead? Deliver supplies is also fine. Does not have to pull the trigger here. He is not obliged. But he will be a bit worried about the fact that Muad'Dib's sitting with 8 spice. And he might cut himself a highliner next round. I don't know if he's going to pull the spy. I think he should hold on to it. I think he should leave it there. I don't think there's enough value in pulling the spy. You could also use it as Fade just to lift the spy for 2 swords if you want to go involved anyways. I don't think the card draw is that important. That's what he decides upon. He is not pulling the spy. I think this is a good move. When you're the first person Swordmaster in round 6, why lift the spy? Make it awkward. Muad'Dib finally gets his hooks. He's just going to take his Spice plus Flow and call it a day. He's got like about 16 Persuasion or something insane. In fact, that could be double Spice plus Flow. I think that is double Spice plus Flow. 6, 8, 10, 11, 13, 15, 7. Oh, I think he might be short. It might be like 17 Persuasion or something. It's absolutely nuts, that hand. I think he's actually missed out his double Spice plus Flow, but it's going to need some counting. Staban has 6 Persuasion at this moment in time. Do you just Signet Ring Arakeen here? You've got to keep that 6 Persuasion. That's very important. Looks the correct move. And does. Shigawai pulled is not the one he really wanted to see. That he wanted that next round for his thing. But never mind. Here come the troops now. Might as well. Yep, makes sense. But Shigawai, he wanted that next round, no doubt about that. It's a little bit of an unfortunate draw. But I guess Prepare the Way's already out, so what does it matter? But still, the access would have been nice. Here comes Refinery. This will get the job done. We'll be a little bit worried about Staban. Staban looks a little scary here. And Staban's going to tie and fight, actually. And Staban might not be able to retreat here. This could get awkward. What does Fade Ralpha do? Does he pull the trigger? I don't think he's going to. No. I think given the amount she's put in, I would stay out of this. Secrets it is, finds the point. Adaptive Tactics is the intrigue, which is okay. But I think that's discretion the better part of Valor there. Yes, 17 Persuasion. Misses the double Spice must flow. Which is a little unfortunate. 8 still to buy. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Nearly found the double. On most of those cards, that gets him a double Spice must flow. If he didn't pull the dagger. Just taking Fremen cards. Oh, he pulls Long Live the Fighters, but he's got 6 left. He can't afford it. He cannot afford it. Does he have any Emperor cards? Could he consider Elite Tactics? I don't think he does. Just going to leave it at that. So it's about 6 Persuasion, not doing anything, but oh well. But yeah, it's a completely ridiculous reveal. So Staban gets his 6, plus 4 swords. Takes the Benny point. And Mahaim does not have anything. So Mahaim, if she wants to win, she will have to play Grasp Arrakis. Which doesn't matter because she's going to be paired with her symbol. So she doesn't mind. And Staban... Does Staban still retreat Spice's power? I don't think so. I think he probably holds on to it now for actual use in a battle. Staban's still in a very strong position. Very strong position. The Spice is slow as well. Looking really strong for a pair of them here. I'd say Fade and Melody aren't a million miles behind, but they do definitely feel second best in this. Nothing for Fade. That hurts. I didn't take... Yeah, you got to remember to put your spies down for Panopticon. I mean, nothing's happened. I mean, it's probably fine, but it's up to the table. We do in these tournaments is we have kind of guidelines of what you should and shouldn't do, and when rewards should or shouldn't be taken. But ultimately, we generally leave it to the table to decide. If someone objects, then it's a no. Everyone has to agree. That's the best way to kind of police it. Fade's eyeing up potentially Benny Operative. I think he should go Benny Operative with all these spies out on the board. But he spoils. He's thinking he's got Mouse and Fopter. So he's thinking Spice and Troops. Fade Ralpha is going to go combat here. He is. Staban's just going to pass. Is he going to retreat? He is going to retreat anyways. Wow, he does take the Spice. Interesting. Well, RDs are like, cool, I'll take the extra water. I guess Staban feels he's got counter dispensation, doesn't need the water anyways. But he willingly retreats regardless. Mahaim up to 7, looking pretty strong. It's Spice Refinery. It's another mouse. Fade Ralpha's pulled pretty wild here. He has Highlander access. He's got coordination as well. He could go for gather support. He can get all sorts of aggression in here. Fade Ralpha needs to win this fight. But he has no access to worms because it's blocked off. It's walled. And Muad'Dib now has a really tricky hand here. What does Muad'Dib do here? He still needs a bump with the Emperor and the Spacing Guild. Spice Refinery doesn't feel like it's doing a whole lot. He can't get the Swordmaster. Does he go maybe Sardaukar, perhaps? He could buy a commander as well. Charismatic's out there. Sardaukar, garrison up, pull an intrigue. Get that point. Muad'Dib's in a bit of a weird holding turn here. Difficult for him to rip in a Highliner immediately in this situation. It looks really, really nasty. Could also Research Station, maybe? Problem is his deck is really big. He's got, what, 10, 11? He's got 12 cards. He's got a 17-card deck, does Muad'Dib. It's a huge deck. So any drawing now, he's thrown up to the gods here. Has not trashed at all this game. So it'd be very much hoping it all works itself out here. Green having a good look. It's not a good spot for Muad'Dib, this at all. Whatever happens, whatever he does here, it's awkward. I think Sardaukar for me is the move, personally. I think get that garrison, get that intrigue, and just kind of reassess a little bit. And even go the commander if you want it. Maybe take Desperate for the +3 swords for when you're going to commit him. Third time now Green's looked at that discard pile. How much more do you want to look? If he's trying to work out what Unswerving Loyalty is, he knows there's one card that's missing, but he probably can't remember what it is. The problem is Muad'Dib also needs contracts. He needs contracts so he can get the quad bump with Cho'um Demand here. And that's what's going on here. Does he take Liner? Whichever one he takes, he's almost certainly hitting immediately. Because he needs to get it so he can trash Cho'um Demands for bumps everywhere. And Sardaukar is what it is. So he's almost certainly going to be going there. Intrigue for Staban. Finds questionable methods, which is a bit awkward for him, actually, because he's already got the down bumps needed for opportunism. Refinery it is. Does not lift the spy. Green studying everyone's discard power here very heavily. Mahaim... I think Mahaim has the Swordmaster. He's going to do it right now. It's a bit dangerous to leave it to Staban. Could have money in hand. You just got to get it and call it a day. And does. Does not pay for a spy. Makekeeper's in hand. Makekeeper looks really strong to like espionage here. Get those resources going. Again, I think Makekeeper's an amazing card for Mahaim. Just self-funds your spies and everything. Really strong. What does Fade Roundful want to do here? I don't think he's going Sardaukar anymore. I mean, he's looking at Sardaukar with coordination. But he feels like he has to win this fight, right? So I think he just rips it. I think he just rips it. And he will rip it. He can discard a card to redraw. He doesn't have any spacing, so he doesn't get the bonus draw. I think I'd get rid of Convincing here. I don't think I'm buying anything at this point. I'd rather give myself options and keep the daggers. I think Convincing's the card I would discard here. I think the dagger's more useful. Yep. This makes sense. Oh, he finds Beast Spores. That's huge. Yeah, considering he went and bought it, that's an enormous pull. Muad'Dib will Sardaukar. He finds Secure Spice Trade. Oh my goodness me. That's a huge pull for him. That's just a point. It's a point, but he doesn't have the Spice Must Flow here. He's missed it. So I suppose he was never that close. But it means he probably can't use Stilgar next round. He might have to save him just to get the Spice Must Flow in the point. Also, the weird thing for Cho'um Demands is that he still needs to work out what he's going to do with said Cho'um Demands. I think he should buy the Sardaukar Commander, and he does, yeah. So he's given... So there's... This is so crazy. It was round 7, we got 2 Swordmasters. I think he buys the swords. He's looking at Charismatic for the Spices Flow, but I think Desperate is the correct choice, and he does take Desperate. I think that's the better choice here. Here comes Ambition. It's a research station. Blue wants this game over and done with here, but I don't think he can end it. Sugar Wire, let's prepare the way. Definitely a Spices Flow in there. Just get it in here. I'm not so sure about getting it in here. I don't think he can never think he's going to win this fight, right? Not when Fade Ralph got 2 actions. I don't know about putting those in. I think that's a bit of an overreach. Mahaim's just going to take some money here. She can just limp in safely. Yeah, Commander goes in. She's going to put the troop in just in case something bizarre happens, I think. Which I don't hate. What does Fader Alpha want to do? He's got his friendships now. Do you just go secrets, maybe, and see what your opponent's going to do? It is an alliance you can sort of try to make a play for. And intrigue's always good. No spice for espionage. Suspensor suit's also, by the way, in the tech row here, by the way. Very, very popular, but it's a bit late for it now. But this is incredibly popular. Every intrigue card you draw or steal, you get a deploy troop to a conflict, which is kind of nuts. Makes the likes of Secrets at Assembly Hall very potent. I think he might go Secrets here. I think he might go Secrets. Or maybe... Yeah, I think Secrets is the... Yeah, I think maybe Deliver Supplies. I think Secrets is the way to go. Hello! Rapid Engineering here. He does not have free tech tiles, so he doesn't get the bumps, but he can discard to buy something on the cheap. He might use that to take Forbidden Weapons. Ardib gets the limp in with Unswerving Loyalty. Not really doing a whole lot, truthfully, but, I mean, what the hell. Spices Flow for Staban. Staban looking very dangerous now. Cannot end the game just yet, but he's close. But Fade Alpha might take this and buy Forbidden Weaponry. But he needs the spice. He'd have to play B Spoils, get the spice, and then discard like his dagger to get Forbidden Weaponry. He might do that. Mahaim just goes for Deliver Supplies here. You have to pull the spy. Spy must be pulled by Mahaim. You cannot leave it there. That is mandatory. Running out of types of skills to take, quite frankly. Get that extra sword in, so it updates. But yeah, that's what I think Fade Alpha might do. I think he might talk himself into Forbidden Weaponry here. The down bump he can take because he's got the Benny bump. Otherwise, Rapid Engineering is doing nothing. I feel like he's going to use B Spoils. It is a route. He could do it via Siege. Does he blow the wall? It feels very difficult to do when Wadib's just sitting there with a garrison and a ton of troops and a ton of water. He could also just go gather support with Sardaukar Commander just to get troops in. That's the alternative, is he just does that and just relies on a ton of swords. Depends how he sees it. But I think that's what I would do. I would go Forbidden Weaponry with B Spoils to, like, Siege. And then you could just discard the tech because you have no spice anyways. And you get the extra troop in. I mean, that's the way I would prefer to do it. I don't know if there's really any real significant difference. He's just going to do it this way, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. This is fine. So Mahaim's going to reveal for 6-7. I think it's 7. Ton of skills. Fade will win the fight. Needed the points. Gets him up to 8. What will happen here? Muad'Dib in need of a big round. Has to get to Highliner, does Muad'Dib, basically. He's got to find access. I don't know if he has it outside of diplomacy, though. He needs a lot of things. Oh, no way has Stabantuet pulled detonation. You've got to be kidding me. That could be ridiculous. Oh, it's not walled. It doesn't matter. That's huge. Well, he pulls detonation. It's not a walled fight. It's propaganda. It's bumps everywhere. It's not great for Muad'Dib. It should be noted. It is an endgame match. But if he wins it with worms or something, it's not doing a whole lot because all the alliances are kind of taken. And look at his hand. Look at his hand. I mean, he's just going to go deep desert, I assume. Here comes opportunism. Oh, he just sacks off that entirely. Whoa. I guess because he's just gonna go shipping, or is he just gonna use prepare? He's just gonna use pointing the way here. He figures he's gonna get the point back anyways, I guess. But this is very difficult for Staban. He's in some trouble here. Sacred Pools. Interesting. Free water for a point. Or we could discard for a water, maybe to go research station. Don't know what he's going to do. Undetermined. Hire off to research station. With Cerebral Supplier. Just going to get it all in here. This is an absolutely vital combat for her because her faction game has been really poor. These are the Rebel Supplier troops. She'll surely pay for a commander as well. If not more. They only cost her 1. She'll get more in. Muad'Dib could just get shut out entirely here. He may not have much he can do. He might need to leave disruption tactics in hand so he can deploy more troops, but he's got so few choices here. It's a horror draw for Muad'Dib. He does have Devour in his back pocket, but he's so bad he needs the Spice Must Flow. There's so many things he needs to do. Lots of trouble. Mahim thinks she's in here. She thinks this is she can win it right here, but Spice Must Flow, getting these friendships. It's an engineer, gets a bump for her as well. She's pulled 2 Spice Must Flow cards, but it doesn't matter. She's Mahim. She can just send those to Espionage. It does not make a difference. This is where Mahim is so strong. You can just send your Spice Must Flows that you've been buying as agent cards to Espionage. It's so strong. Vader Alpha, meanwhile. Do you just go secrets and just get this alliance done and dusted? You couldn't blame him for doing it. He doesn't have access to High Council. He doesn't have any money. His resources are desperate. Yeah, seems forceless. Winning combat and the strong survive are the pools. There are swords, but they're not doing a whole lot. You also can't spend anything right now. I believe it has been ruled now for Dune Imperium that the arrows for the techs, like with rapid engineering, you can't just do it just to burn the card. You've got to buy a tech. Muad'Dib goes to Basin first. This is just... He's just going to plow it in here. He finds Choam shares. For Choam demands. He finds that for bumps. That coupled with this fight, if he can win it, is huge. But he has not found Stilgar. It's not there. It's demand a privilege. So he will lift Fremkit. Oh, he pulls convincing. It's not good for him. Detonation will go. He'll probably go shipping here, I imagine. Ripple's in the sand found now. It's not doing a whole lot for him. The Barnes in some trouble. He was looking pretty comfortable for a lot of this game, but it's just starting to come apart now. He's in difficulty. Yeah, it's about all he can do here. And obviously he has to take the Fremkit agent. That is mandatory. If it's mandatory, I will do it. Otherwise, I will not get involved, but it's a mandatory. And people sometimes forget to lift their agents, so just get it done and dusted. What's Mahayam do here? She has got Highliner access. It must be tempting. You'd think between Highliner and Espionage, like, you're going to get the Spices Flow as well, right? And you've got all these swords. 2, 4. She's got Commander in, so 6, 7. So I think I put her at... She's at 9 Persuasion right now. So Liner and Espionage looks pretty safe to me. And I just don't think there's a whole lot she can do. Goes this way instead. So she's going to line anyways. She's going to do it this way. Oh, she's got Charismatic, of course, so she has the bonus Persuasion. So she's just going to send in a Spices Flow as the liner card. And there might not be very much... it's not a huge liner for Mahayam. She'd only be able to send in 5 troops, though. 2 in the garrison and 3 recruited, so she'd only be able to get up to 26. But she's got swords in the bank here, and Muad'Dib might just get shut out entirely. Muad'Dib might have to go Fremkit to try and pull Gurney Halleck. Or Stilgar, or whatever card it is. Stilgar. 1 in 3. It's there somewhere. He may have no choice. I don't know what Fade does for more points at this stage. He's just going to dig for intrigues and just try to get lucky. Finds Seize Production. Does he buy a tech? I think he's just trying to find options here, but there's not a lot else for Fade Rafter to do. Just going to do it this way instead. So I expect he might go Desert Tactics. Might just go Desert Tactics and just hope it all works itself out here. Here's the ship for Staban to get the point back. Gets him to 9. And he will be able to lift 2 spies. 4 home pie place be worth 5 plus high council. So he is going to be on 10. But it's not going to be a great 10. He will not be winning really any spice tiebreakers, you'd imagine. He's got no troops. Staban will just be kind of hoping that it somehow works out here. It seems really hard to see how he wins this game, but second he might do. Mahayam, if she's going to highline it, has to use... She's going to reveal. She just reveals. For Spice tiebreak? I guess. What is going on here? What? She doesn't have a worm. Excuse me? Oh, she's got Panopticon, of course. Pime's got Popticon, so she doesn't care. But she wants to win it to end the game. At the moment, she thinks. But she just reveals, maybe figures that Staban, pulling the spy, has the spice must flow. So Maheim's going to feel pretty confident anyways. I mean, Maheim's played a pretty good game. Absolutely stacked full of things going on up there. It's the thing when you're doing Bloodlines, like there's just so many things going on. Sometimes it is hard to keep track of everything. Vader Alpha's just got to take what spice you can, man, and just go for your tie breaks. Adaptive tactics might give you some spice, by the way. Does not have any commanders, but he can use adaptive tactics. And here we go. Yeah, and here's the fun. Yes, they realize. Yeah, Red has 3 endgame points, so Red at the moment is going to win. But it's not going to matter, because you're going to tell Staban not to buy Spicer's Flow. If Staban thinks he can get second place, I think he goes for second place here. And just takes the 3 points for the next round. I think I would. I don't see how anyone is beating Maheim at this point anymore. No way did he just find strategic stockpiling. That's nuts. That's just a point. That's crazy. So troops are coming in. Maheim will not be able to win. But she might figure 11 points is good anyways. It might well be right. How did he pull stockpiling? That's pretty nuts. He has to. He's looking at the situation. He's trying to work out. He's got to play stockpiling, right? Is he going to pass and assume this is going to go a 9th round? He's trying to do the maths here. He's thinking, if I stockpile and take 2 alliances, that takes me to 10 points. But Maheim doesn't have any of them anyway, so he still loses. That's what he's looking at here. He might legitimately not play stockpiling, so he can take the alliances of the Bene Gesserit and the Emperor and not end the game. I don't see how you could ever make that call. I get where he's coming from. I get the logic. And I know what he means. If he's playing to keep the game going, it's the only way he does it is he does not play stockpiling. It's very rare you see this situation where a player is deliberately considering not ending the game because of massive endgames like this. It's a very unusual situation. But I think that's what he's considering here. He's going to do it! Is he going to do it? There's no way. He's going to feel sick when he does, because the problem is he's assuming that Staban's not revealed. He's assuming Staban isn't ending the game. He's not going to do it! Oh my god! He's actually going to pull the trigger on this. Oh, he does! Oh my goodness me! And Staban's just like, I don't care. I'm ending the game. The hell with this. Oh dear. That's a bit unlucky. Yeah, he's always going to do it, man. He's always going to do it. Oh, I feel bad for Heretic in a way. What are you going to do there, little? But I think you just got to pull the trigger and just call it that and just bank yourself for second place. I know it sucks. It means Red just wins. You cannot stop Red, but it just... I think in a group format like this, I think arguably you just go for second there and take the points. You may or may not differ. I'm curious to know what you guys think you do there in that spot. It's such a crazy spot. I think that's what you got to do there. Is there anything that Green can do for extra points here? He does have rapid engineering. Oh, he's thinking of protecting his alliances. He's gonna go. He's gonna go for. He's gonna go navigation chamber to save one of his alliances because he knows its history. It doesn't matter which one you save. It's irrelevant. It's not been Fader Alpha's game, honestly. Hasn't really worked out for him this one. And this has been a disaster how this has played out for Heretic here. He's not taken stockpiling. He's not even going to steal both alliances now. Went for everything, and it has not worked. Can feel hard done by, perhaps. Maybe. But that's Dune, baby. Heretic he could have guaranteed or near guaranteed second place. He now might finish last. No, I think he beats blue. He's going to beat green on Spice tiebreak, I think. Unless yellow can fluke an intrigue here. Emperor's Invitation doing nothing. I think you go Fremen for the war, right? Technically for Spice tiebreaks. Game's over. But that's going to be it. So Mother Valheim is going to win. She has 3 endgame points. We will push her over the line with Panopticon. Staban takes his second place. I think he'll be reasonably happy with second. It's looking a bit dicey for a while. I think him and Mahaim were looking fairly good for a while, but Mahaim just raced on. Staban couldn't keep pace. I think he'll be reasonably happy with second place here. Heretic went for everything. Didn't happen. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, points are points. Doesn't really make a difference. And yeah, Fader Alpha, unfortunately, stolen from at the end. Didn't really go for him, unfortunately, Declan. I think he played okay, but it was a difficult spot for him. He never really had any big power cards in his deck when other people really did, and I think that really hindered him.
And you fucked me over a little bit.
Oh, right. So you didn't think I was going to buy the Spice was slow and...
Yeah, he was praying with stockpiling. I was like, oh.
I was praying that you don't do the dumb move and finish the game.
Well,
I would trigger end game anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was the thing,
Oh, well, if I won the combat, but I didn't, so no.
No, you wouldn't trigger because you won't win the combat.
Yeah.
But sure. I also thought if it goes another round, it only gets worse for me, so yeah.
If it goes another round, I win for sure.
Yeah.
That's 100%, but yeah. You fucked me up.
Yeah, well, you nicked the Spice when I was eyeing that up and put you with that decision for the hooks or the Spice. So, yeah, it was a fun game.
I get it, Staban. I get it. I think given the situation, you just like, it's so hard. Like, how do you ever win this match? It's really hard to beat Mahaim. If you can take second, take 3 points. I can get that.
Yeah. Technologies, Sardukars, best addition to the game.
Yeah. I mean, both you and Staban had good starts, but then you just kind of started racing on. And Mahaim, I think as well, when she gets going, can be really hard to stop.
I think it's because of Tech, especially this spy was like very good for Mahaim.
Oh, of course, yeah. Once you got Panopticon, like that was huge. I didn't even realize. I forgot about the whole High Council discount. I was like, you just gonna buy food and weapons? I completely missed it. So much going on sometimes.
Like next round, I have so many points.
Yeah,
all these points missed.
Just needed one more round, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
That's the life of Muad'Dib. I was countered the whole game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Once Fader Alpha had Bungie pulled Siege Ritual, I was like, this is bad news for Marty because he's gonna get horribly cut out.
Yeah, because it delayed my worms too much.
Yeah.
It delayed my worm, but at least I bought Chom, but that was the light in the tunnel. But still.
Yeah. No, I think it was a solid game. I think everyone had a crack at it. Fader Alpha kind of got a bit muscled out, unfortunately. I think didn't have any huge power cards, and everyone else kind of started stumbling into them, which was tough going.
I mean, I started to look for intrigues, and nothing came as well. So.
Yeah, I think you did everything you could do. You got advanced ahead of Siege, and then obviously you had the big worm fight where you just got heavily contested out.
That was so surprising that
For a while you were getting nothing from that.
Yeah.
No, I think it was a good scrap.
That was intentional, by the way.
Yeah, of course. No, I think it was good. Yeah, well played to Bars, and yeah, it was I've seen a few games where it's just been complete blowout, so it's nice to see a game where it's been, I think, pretty competitive all the way through.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There was lots of twists and turns.
My heart was racing all the way through from turn 1. I lie down now.
Yeah, I bet. Intense to bang game.
So that is going to do it for us here in this one. I do feel Heretic's pain. And he is kind of right. He was played against quite a bit in this game, but some of that was the way the intrigues drew. And again, some of it is Muad'Dib. When you play Muad'Dib, you attract heat because people know how dangerous you can be and how much you can snowball and how much people have got to stop that. The Siege Ritual pull for Fade definitely was pretty brutal. Cutting off his worms very, very heavily. And I think Mahayim showing a very good demonstration of, when she gets going, she can be really hard to stop. Just because Clandestine, once you start getting the spies down, you have guaranteed access to these spaces and people cannot stop you. So you can find these points. Panopticon obviously was huge. Although, didn't really need the bumps ultimately in the end, realistically. Probably could have found them elsewhere, but obviously took the pressure off, and then just getting those spy generation troops, allowing to just kind of muscle towards the end. So pretty solid stuff overall, and I think definitely deserving of the win. And yes, the barn. I get what Heretic means. If you want to try to win the game, you don't buy the Spiceless Flow there, but in this format, in this tournament, everyone buys the spice there, right? Do you not buy the spice there deliberately to keep the game going? What's he going to do round 9? He's got no garrison. He's got no alliances he can win. I think he has to buy that and he's just got to take second place and take the 3 points, I think. I think he made the right call. Anyways, fun game and a nice way to start off the comp. And I actually think I was alright as well, getting my first solo crack at doing a Bloodlines game on my own. Still easy to miss stuff, that's for damn sure. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for the company. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all in the next conflict.